Joining me now live for more is Victoria Cooper from the United States Studies Centre. Hello, Victoria. Thanks very much for your time this afternoon. Well, it's interesting to hear from Stormy Daniels amid all of this kerfuffle and coverage of what's been going on in the United States. I mean, the very fact that Stormy Daniels would want to testify against Donald Trump, would this be a leg up for the Manhattan DA?
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me on. It's a great question to start us off. I think the part of this Stormy Daniels' involvement in her interview on Piers Morgan, this is the first time that she's taken an interview since the former president's arrest. And if anything, it just kind of contributes to the tabloid and the spectacle of it all. If Stormy Daniels was to testify, ultimately, we don't know whether that will affect the jury's decision of whether Trump would be liable or convicted. But it would add gravity to the case. It would suggest that, you know, it's about legitimizing her story and, as she said in that interview, speaking her truth. So it's more about Stormy Daniels in that case than it is actually about whether that would lead to a particular verdict.
No doubt. In this indictment, and things have trickled out throughout the week about exactly what New York State is charging Donald Trump with. I mean, how difficult will this case be to prove amid this political storm and amid the fact that Donald Trump is running again for the Republican nomination?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think one of the things is that the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, it is this financial crime, what Trump is being charged of, which is intent to defraud and his attempts to cover up transactions back to Michael Cohen of that $130 that was the hush money given to Stormy Daniels. That case within itself isn't actually that unusual for the Manhattan District Attorney's Office to pursue. It is the financial capital of the world. They're dealing with a lot of financial business there. So the charges aren't so difficult. What is difficult is proving that that was an intention to cover up another crime. And in this case, that other crime is an electoral scheme to accelerate Trump's chances at the presidency in 2016. So it's proving that the connection between those financial crimes and the cover-up scheme, in addition to the electoral scheme that Trump is being charged with, and that the Alvin bribe will have to prove.
What's the process now in terms of securing that nomination? Obviously, there's primaries and there's delegates from each of the states. When is the first primary, and how's this timeline going to match up with this case in New York?
Yeah, it's a great question. We don't yet know what the timeline of this case is going to be in particular, but at this stage, we have seen a couple of Republican candidates throw their name into the ring. We know Nikki Haley announced her desire to join the presidential race earlier this year. We're expecting announcements from Mike Pence. Ron DeSantis is quite likely as well. And so ahead of the primary calendar, which will really get into full swing at the beginning of next year, we will see the Republican Party vying for a new leader or for Trump to come out as leader again. And at this stage, Donald Trump still very much is the de facto leader of the party. He maintains a grip hold on the electoral base in a way that the other candidates just don't yet do. And this case has really put them in an awkward position. You know, do they support Donald Trump, and do they, criticize this indictment in order to leverage the base? But I guess that's a tension there, because in doing that, they could isolate themselves from that critical primary voter base that will ultimately elect the Republican candidate to go forward in the election next year.
Do you reckon any of the other Republican candidates are a chance at the moment, given all the hoopla around Donald Trump and what he's trying to claim?
Yeah, it is one of those things where this particular case and a lot of the fanfare and the tabloid around it, it is creating this quite media spectacle around him in a way that was sort of similar in 2016. Donald Trump wears scandal incredibly well. And this is another instance where he is taking a lot of the oxygen away from other candidates. Nikki Haley, when she visited the southern border, she said, all we're hearing this week is Trump, 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 Trump. And it is one of those things where, because he has captured so much of the attention and because he does maintain so much support in that voter base, it is difficult for the the other candidates to cut through. His next closest challenger being Ron DeSantis, and we saw some of those headlines coming out after the midterm elections of, Ron de Future. His chances ahead, we've seen for the first time since the midterm elections, a widening gap between Trump and DeSantis in terms of public support, with Trump being a little bit more popular at this stage. But it's important to remember that Trump has never won the popular vote. So in terms of what that will actually mean, and we're still quite a long way away for the election, in terms of who can come out on top at this stage, it's too soon to know.
No doubt we'll be watching that one extremely closely. Victoria Cooper from the United States Studies Centre, really appreciate your time and analysis this afternoon. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.